of Atacama Desert. Well, in Peru, Atacama is as well the southern Peru. All right, it's not just Chile because it's quite well known, Atacama in the north side of Chile, but as well the southern part of Peru is Atacama Desert, right? So it's the driest place in the world. It's the driest place in the world. I mean, comparing with the other deserts in all over the world, this is the one which is really, really dry. Doesn't rain. We didn't have any rain for many, many years ago. So look at this. So sorry. Let me just do. It's quite bright. So this is Cornelia. You're welcome. Where we are, where the petroglyphs, it's the territory is about uh, 50 square kilometers of territory, right? 50 square kilometers. It means, um, so this place, it has been formed in the tertiary area or in tertiary age. So all of those stones are the result of the eruptions of the volcanoes, because we are on the southern part of Peru, and in the southern part of Peru there are a lot of volcanoes. We have 16 volcanoes, and 10 of them until nowadays are active. And those volcanoes in the past time, they have done eruptions and expel different types of materials, and this is the result that we can see nowadays. So because of the tectonic plates, all of this area, it has been formed. um, so under the ocean, the tectonic plates are still having their movements and still pushing them, um, the mountain range of Andes, right, is still growing up. So the desert is created because of the mountain range of Andes. The mountain range of Andes doesn't really um, and doesn't really let to have clouds to this part of Peru, and that's the reason it's very, very dry. So we welcome Carol, welcome, welcome. So you see, there are more than 6,000 graving stones, right? And don't ask me if I have all of the stones in my memory. It's quite difficult. Well, we need to walk. It's 50. It's quite kilometers of territory. It's necessary to take our time to see all of those engravings that pre-Incas and even the first human beings who have been here, right? Hello, Gaby. All of the ones who have been living before the pre-Inca civilizations, the ones who were recollectors, the ones who were um, hunters, those human beings who have been living here 10,000 years before Christ, right? 10,000 years before Christ, they have done their engravings in their stones. So, and then there were some other cultures who got they came to here, the same recollectors, the same hunters. They became like civilizations, and then there were um, the informations that anthropologists, they found that the different um, different cultures who have done their development in those territories, right? So 10,000 years before Christ, yes, it is the oldest human being who have been living in the southern part of Peru is 10,000 years before Christ. So the one in the north side of Peru is about 12,000 years before Christ. So the one who is in Canada is about if I'm not wrong, 50,000 years before Christ. So, and that's the reason we have actually the information that the ones who came, the first human beings who came to South America, they came from Canada. So that's the information that I could get it from the different anthropologists and the different the different historical ones who have done studies in this territory. So. Um, And then the other cultures who have been living here, and they consider it as a very ceremonial area. So they were from 800 years before Christ to 1200 years after Christ. It means the water culture. So let me just to show you, share with you, first of all, the different deserts that we have in all over the world, right? So if you are thinking before the Incas, yes, of course, before the Incas, the water culture, right? So just to let you to share with you the different deserts that we have in all over the world. And in South America, if you see the tiny dry yellow color, that is, we are in the southern part of Peru, actually, right? So Arequipa, if you click the sorry, the map, you can see where are we exactly. So this is um, the pre-Incas cultures who have done their development. So it is very dry. Sorry, my throat. It is very dry. So there is not any humid here. I mean, zero humid, right? So you see the yellow. If you click the map, the orange color, that one is the culture who have done their development over here, the Wari culture. And if you have been with Renan in Bolivia, well, actually it's part of southern part of Peru as well. Um, um, uh, the other culture, Tiahuanaco, have done its development there, right? Do you have water with you? Yes, Natasha, yes, I have water with me. So, but you see, let me just to show you how dry. It's very, very sunny as well. It is very dry, right? Um, so, and according the first anthropologist who has done the studies over here in this desert was a Peruvian one, Eloy Linares Malaga. This man, he has done studies during 70s, 16s, 60s, 70s, and he has done his his first book in 1972. So, but it took quite a long time for him to study. And according to carbonic dating, he was the one who has done um, his book, um, like advertising in Germany. And they actually they came with the carbonic dating to see how old those stones are, right? That's the reason I give that information, right? What is the altitude here? The altitude is about 800 meters, right? 800 meters. Very close to the um to the to the Pacific Ocean, but it's still like 40 minutes to get to the beach. So 89 degrees Fahrenheit or 32 degrees Celsius, it is very hot. So whereas we have to walk, there are more than 1,000, sorry, say 6,000 engraving stones. Um, my husband is helping me. So you can get lost in this desert because you see there are huge of those many of those stones, and some of them are very big ones. So after the water culture who have been living here, that culture was already a civilization from 800 years to 1200 years after Christ. There were later on the um, Chukibamba culture, right? So um, different cultures used to take the position of the other one when they have done the conquest, right? And then they were improving their knowledge as well because they got the knowledge from the culture before or the native people before. So uh, where are we? We are in Toro Muerto, actually. Toro Muerto is the name of this place. A plow is the town nearby this area, right? It's uh, thanks, Natasha. Thanks. So let me just share you. For the ones who would like to help me, this is my social media. Yeah, and I will make a break for a while. This is my so. Uh, I'm not expert buying buy me a coffee, but PayPal for someone of you who works with buy me a coffee as well. It could be wonderful if you support me in those last tours that we are doing. So, but keep in touch, please. Keep in touch. It it's quite difficult to walk in the desert. It seems that I am a step in the same place. It seems that I'm just a step in the same place. So, uh, so yes, to meantime we are walking and to find those amazing grapes, right? So it's very interesting. Um, if you see, uh, so let me see if I can find. No, I didn't put it. So, um, uh, if you see, thanks, Katie. Um, uh, the map. If you see South America map, and if you see the uh, mountain range of Andes, mountain range of Andes is one of the longest and the highest mountains in this part of hemisphere, right? Not talking about Everest, right? We're talking about youngest and longest mountain range of Andes is the Western Mountain Range of Andes. That one is like the wall because in the rainforest, which is part of Brazil, which is in that part of the Pacific Atlantic Ocean, its temperature is warmer, and that's why it rains more in the rainforest. But the mountain range of Andes or Western Mountain Range of Andes is like a wall which doesn't let to the clouds to come to this part to the coast. That's why it doesn't rain. That's why it's very dry, right? So. Uh, my goodness, where is my husband? I lost him. Carol Lisa, welcome to the desert. So, but as I told you, the tectonic plates is still making this part um, uh, growing up, right? It means it's still this part of the desert became more bigger and bigger, right? So uh, most of the pre-Inca civilizations who were using this place as a ritual or as a religious place, they were painting, they were doing their engraving in those rocks. You see how huge is this, right? Happy Easter, Carol. Happy. Um, thanks so much, Shirley. Thanks, I really appreciate it. So, my husband found some of them, but let me just to show you over here. There are some which looks like uh, it has been erosionate. You see, it seems that there were some condor or something like that, but there are another interesting things, right? So let me just to see my husband. I'm just keeping one eye on my steps, and as well my husband is just looking for the grapes. You really get lost. All of the stones look similar. There is no actually a way. Um, who knows? Who knows? We can. So, are you seeing well? Is that okay? um, ¿Estamos bien? Sí. ¿Ya? ¿Dónde? No, no se ve. ¿Has visto por otro sitio? Mhm. Yeah. So this is a good example how those engraves have been erosionate, or the sun, the wind erased all of these engravings. But for sure, we'll see a lot of this. A very interesting. Um, they were uh, engraving their daily life or their rituals. I don't know if you see. This is and there is a, like man, right? Herding his llama, following a way, right? Following its way until maybe the coast, or they were like, nowadays we use um, our our technology to write our letters or to write our history. So but in the pre-incas and even the first human beings, they they have done their carvings, their paintings in their caves, right? So this is a very good example. It should be protected, but it's not protected um, by UNESCO. The government from this area is worried, and he would like to keep this area as a part of UNESCO. It's protected by the government, but not in all over the world, right? So uh, ahí también, sí. A ver, sal. So it could be very bright. So there is, if you see, there is like a man with her, it's his hers like flowing away. It's dancers. Those are dancers that they were maybe asking for a rainy season, or maybe to make some rituals in the name of the mother, right? So that's very interesting. And the other uh, engravings, we will see a lot, right? So you will have to be patient. And there is another one. So there is like a man with his hair, yes, blowing away, like dancing too, right? Um, if you can let me know, it's very bright for me, but could you reconfirm if you are seeing well? And there are a lot of llamas and alpacas as well, because it was part of their uh, domestic animals, right? And when they have been doing, thanks so much, when they were doing as well the rituals to try to make the domestication of vicuñas, they were as well doing some special rituals, which until nowadays we're still practicing for our wild animals. Well, alpacas, llamas have been domesticated by pre-Incas, no pre-Incas, the ones who became civilizations, right? After after hunters or recollectors, they started to make their life in caves, right? And they were the ones who started to do the domestication of the plants and the llamas and the alpacas as well. So you don't see the llamas, Margaret. So look, there is over here. So it's quite bright, but you see there is like huge llama, and there is like a fox over here, you see, right? So but if you haven't seen yet, let me just to show you, another one, which is yes, we'll see more, don't be worried. uh, I'm sad, of course, Natasha. I'm very sad. There are a lot of zoomorphic and anthropomorphic figures, right? So you see there are here there are more animals. So it's quite windy. They will be here under the sun. After midday, it became quite windy over here. So uh, there are like animals, but it's just losing because the air, the erosion of the sun as well. But there were a lot of engravings, right? A lot of engravings of the llamas and alpacas. But for sure, we'll see more. So just let me go in this position, and we'll see more. All right. So, um, but according the anthropologists, they uh, found the last result that this place it was very important place just for the rituals, right? Every cultures, everyone's who have done, mm, you know, uh, their life in those territories, they were doing this place as a very important uh, ceremonial place to ask for a rain, for to ask for a you know, better weather, to have a reproduction of their animals, for fertility, for everything, right? They got this kind of result at the end, all of the ones who have done the studies. So, yes, he needs so, necesitas, dice, una sombrilla. Yeah, he needs so. Mira cómo la gente viene y lo poniendo sus iniciales, mira. Sí. Puedes darte cuenta. No pongas tu pie ahí. Cuando es el amarillo, mira. Cuando está de amarillo, ese es el sulfuro de la reacción química por el tiempo. He would like to be. Pero este blanco lo han raspado. He would like to be a guide as well. He's explaining me. It's like this. It's like this. He says like you don't know. He says all the time. You don't know. You don't really know. This is like this. This is like. This is my conclusion. He would like to be the guy. So. Look, he was explaining, and it's very clear as well. The ones, people who doesn't really know the history of this area, they have done this wrong letters. They try to put their names, you see, but and they try to make some other figures, right? They ignore, of course, because nobody you see there are no people who is taking care of this stone. So anyone who is free can come to here and to see, yes, maybe to walk around. Maybe they have seen some little information, but they don't really know how valuable is this place. um Yes, they're graffiti, yeah. But look, the other ones, those are the llamas, the alpacas. It's clearly the time which it has been made in the pre-Inca civilizations, and this part, it has been made by the ones who came the last 20 or 30 years. So really any kind of wildlife here. Valerie, there are some pumas, some foxes. They come down from the mountains as well looking for water. And as well there are some wild cats too, right? Thanks, Marsha. Thanks so much. Thanks. So we have to be patient. And sorry because I'm talking like, uh, it's quite dry, and that's the reason I'm talking like that. I'm sorry. I still apologize about that. So we'll see more. I would like to show you the condor, the pumas, all of the animals which they have seen during their lifetime, right? All of the animals. Who wants to get to Mars? Well, Andre, it is true. It is true. It's quite similar like Mars. So, uh, and as well, all of the inhabitants who have been living higher than here on the mountain range of Andes, right? So they were going through this place with the llamas and alpacas as well, right? And they got uh, their their knowledge of animals who have been living in the highland, like for example, maybe some birds, right, and the rainforest, because they were using like this place as a ceremonial place, right? Maybe they had come from different places to make their ceremonies, and they put their own engravings, their own animals, right? That's why there are some birds shapes, there are some condors, pumas. Uh, so the anthropologists who came and they put the numbers, the important numbers of the stones to keep, right? Um, and this is another uh, engravings. Uh, was the area dry 10,000 years ago? Not really. No, Christine, that's a good question because this part, in the past time, it wasn't like really, really dry. That's why the pre-Inca civilizations they tried to make those rituals to attract to have again rain as the other civilizations. They passed down their knowledge and they knew that in their time, their lifetime, it used to be wet, used to be a rainy area or green area, right? So, and that's the reason they used to make those rituals, and uh, they build those ceremonial centers to make those rituals to attract the rain, right? So let me show you this. This is very very dry, but uh, right there, look, right there, there is a green valley, right? That's because it comes from the rain, from the mountain range of where it rains much heavier. There are some snow covered mountains. It rains much heavier up there, and it comes down through the gravity system, um, through the rivers, by the rivers. And that's the reason we got those valleys where we grow rice, we grow sugarcane, we grow as well a lot of grapes. If you're wondering if Peru um, has wine, we export wine, but unfortunately, people doesn't have any help from the government, right? So that's the reason. Most of the ones who are farmers and making wine, they export a few quantity, not a lot. They sell in Peru, right? Any corn, Natasha? No, it's too hot, too low for the corn. Corn grows over 2,000 meters in better quality, right? They grow corn for their animals. So if we can see a little bit farther away, so you see there are the Rio Camana runs down. Yes, Camana, exactly. So if any one of you have been with me in Colque Canyon, right? We have seen the river. The river, its name is Colque Canyon, and it goes through the Pacific Ocean, right? So it goes through the Pacific Ocean, and actually it goes through these territories. And the ending name of the Colque River, it's Camana, right? This is Majes, and then its ending name is Camana. So that is uh, that's why we got a lot of valleys along the coast because of the rivers. We have the rivers, right? Um, So